Hey guys, John Luxley here, back with our blind playthrough of the Miskatonic. Are you gonna get in my lap? Jack is joining me again. It's the third episode I've recorded today. I'm wearing this. This is a Huggaroo if you don't have one. Most people don't, I think, but I get a lot of neck and back pain. And so this is actually a pretty good investment. I don't remember how much it cost. You can find, this is the Huggaroo brand, I guess, but it's basically a fabric thing full of clay beads. And you stick it in the microwave and it gets hot, and then you put it on yourself, and it kind of relaxes your muscles and it just feels good. I've tried using like a heating pad before, but this kind of like, it's fabric, so it basically like wraps around, and it keeps the heat for, you know, a good 20-30 minutes. Now if I could find one to make like a whole vest out of, to, you know, put on so it would do my whole back as well, that would be great, but I cannot. Alright, so Jack is maybe ready. He's in the lap at least. Yeah, are you, oh baby. I forgive you for resetting my game the other day. Oh, I did look up, I haven't watched it yet. I need to. There's a Eternal Daughter speedrun. Looks like it's anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. There's a couple. There's like an 80%, and then there's 100%. Are you gonna rub your face against the microphone? That's fine. Anyway, well, those of you that have watched my Eternal Daughter playthrough, I am pretty impressed. It took me... okay, thanks for clicking the mouse for me. It took me about 25 episodes of an hour, about an hour apiece to beat. But the actual game time, because that's all deaths, was about 6.5 hours. So it's pretty amazing in a game where you can only take a couple hits before dying. Yeah. Alright. So, I topped off my tequila. I thought about getting a beer or something. I have some, I have an IPA that I was thinking of drinking, but we'll stick with tequila for now. Was it always Nutty Annie? I thought it was Crazy Annie, but I know it's Crazy Eddie and maybe Nutty Andy. So where were you last night? I snuck in your room, but you weren't there. Oh, you know, just off on a secret mission. New Orleans, hidden keys, dark revelations, tragic tales, that kind of stuff. Oh, you dumb bitch. Never tell anybody anything. Top secret, probably didn't hear about it. Wait, why were you in my room? I don't know, just for talking. You're pretty much the only person I talk to other than my brother or the lunch lady. And that's usually about, you know, lunches. That's probably because you're incredibly annoying. Besides, the only thing you talk to me about is trying to chomp my butt. Yeah. It's a good dynamic we've got, ain't it? Yeah, it's not bad. I could go so many places with that. But I won't. I will not. Alright. I know, it looks weird, but it's really nice. I highly recommend it. If you don't want to do like this, because this was, you know, 20-30 bucks. I don't remember how much, to be honest, but you can take an old sock, maybe a couple old socks, and stuff them inside each other so the rice doesn't leak out. Get some rice, uncooked, obviously, right? Put the dry, uncooked rice in the sock, and you want to fill it up. And you just take a couple rubber bands and just tie it off at one end, and so it's like a tube. It's a tube of rice, and you can microwave it. Start with like a minute and just, or maybe 30 seconds, and just see. because some of them can get really, really hot, right? I think this has like clay beads in it, so it doesn't get as hot as quickly. I have to put it in the microwave for like, 2.5 minutes about. But yeah, put the rice in there and microwave it, put it for a minute, and then you just kind of rest it on the back of your neck. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. All right. Nico. Charlotte, thanks for the help with my archives. Care to add to them with another secret? Is she gonna... I assume so, yes. Let me think. Well, the reason my hair is like this is so I don't accidentally use my eyes on something. If one of my eyes is covered up, it seems to lessen the effect. Weird, huh? Oh, yes, I've heard about your magic eyes. I may have a small experiment for you tomorrow, so don't go poking them out before then. That's part of the reason they hired her, I think. It's because of her magic eyes. And remind me to build a Charlotte ward for my archives. Sounds like fun. See you around, guys. Yeah, because she's like all... Well, she said to herself she doesn't believe in privacy. Let's talk to Rumi. Is it Rumi or Rummy? How do you pronounce that? Why'd you leave the coven to work here, Rumman? Is that a different outfit? Probably not. I don't know. I feel like it's not. Well, what's the cult of Shib Niggurath's motto? Preach harmony and compassion, for the universe offers neither. Exactly. Try to make the world a better place because it's incredibly shitty, and that's what these guys do, man. But rather than being nice and helpful to our neighbors, they're creating vaccines, technology, all that kind of stuff. The Miskatonic's on the frontier of occult science, and working here means you get to be a part of a collective of history makers. Trust me, Charlotte, they'll remember us when these guys cure cancer or polio or tentaclitis. Inflammation of the tentacles? Or, tentacles something else. Don't read into that. Well, that makes sense to me. What about you? Why'd you decide to work here? Same reason I became a witch. I really like all this creepy bullshit. Rumman seems to think these guys are on the level, and if I go blabbing about what I saw in New Orleans, I could lose my job. Maybe it was just a handful of nutty folks performing weirdo experiments outside of the university's eyesight. Then again, it was a whole facility dedicated to it with a tunnel leading there and warning signs and stuff all over the walls. No way, this was a legit operation, I'm gonna find out who's at the top. Okay, so if it was legit, why beware the goo? Or fear the goo? I don't know, I guess we'll see. Caleb, so what have you been working on? Annika, the rediscovery of one of the lesser species of Yith. It appears to be a form of black sentient cloud, though occasionally forming random solid shards or icicles in its core when under severe distress. The Whoa. Thought I was doing better. This might be 10 episodes. It's different. Reading all this stuff is different on the voice than, say, Eternal Daughter, where you're only occasionally talking. Like this game is primarily driven by talk. And it's still warm. I'm gonna keep it on. Right? So. There you go. There. As if I don't look silly enough already, right? And yeah, I chose blue. Actually, I think blue is the only color. It's fine. I would have chosen green I think if I had the option. But I think it was just blue. I think that was it. Right. The Yithians seem to use them as a form of nourishment and humor, torturing them before they inhale the smoke. What's a Yithian? Oh, just Yith in general, but the lesser versions. So superior species of Yith are like bigger clouds. The odd thing is, in one of the last chapters of the Miskatonic manuscripts, the Yithians write the clouds communicate in a human language. During the rectification of the Voldrani, chose another form for him, that of a giant slore. Many shubs and zools knew what it was to roast in the depths of the slore that day, I can tell you. Yeah. What is Gozer? Gozer the Traveler. He'll appear in one of the pre-chosen forms. I love Ghostbusters, the original. And yeah, this is kind of... Let's take this off. Honestly, even though the third, or even though the Ghostbusters, oh, you wanna smell this, Jack? This it lost its scent, but it's actually scented with the same smell as Sleepy Time tea. You know, that like herbs and stuff. The Ghostbusters video game, maybe not the Wii version. I think the Wii version was a little bit different, but it's, I mean, to be fair, the plot is kind of dumb. It's like the ghost of Ivo Shandor basically sets it all up, and it's like, oh, Gozer was just blah blah blah. It's like, no, Gozer worshipped, Ivo Shandor worshipped Gozer. So for Evo to turn around and be like, oh, Gozer was just bullshit. Gozer couldn't accomplish it. I'm just a ghost. It's like, no, that's dumb. But you actually got to see a slore, I think. It was kind of... They tried to make it like the Ghostbusters 3, because they knew they weren't... Right. The same message that has always been broadcasted. They figured they were never going to get a third movie, and they're probably right. I mean, they're definitely right now, at least with all the original actors. But yeah, they were like, well, we'll try to make it a third entry in the main series. And it's okay. It's okay. It's not... I mean, the game itself is fun. But it's definitely a fan... It's fan fiction, right? It's not, you know... It's like, hey, remember Gozer? Remember Ivo Shandor? Remember the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man? All that stuff. It's like... But it's okay. It's fun. So, yeah. I would recommend it. If you're a fan of Ghostbusters and just video games in general, I'd still recommend the Ghostbusters video game. Didn't they... Were they planning on remastering it? I think they were. Maybe they already have. I don't know. Or redoing it. Or so, I don't know. Okay. I've seen Hyperborean writings describing the human soul as floating black spikes, funnily enough. Sounds like the two might be related. It would mean that the first pre-human contact with the Yithians was situated in the lush jungles of the Arctic. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? No. I think we've got an expedition to plan. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Me either, but they want a bone, I think. Marina, our school swim team each has a custom-made swimsuit to suit their needs. Awkward grammar right there. So she is a... presumably Deep One father and human mother. Their needs, of course, being the extraneous limbs or mutated proportions most of them have. What the fuck is a swimsuit? That actually, okay, that makes sense. It's what she's wearing right there, except this is like the Japanese variety. A suit that you wear when you swim. I'm starting to get the impression that witches are the odd ones out. You are correct. Sorry, Jack. Alright, let's talk to everybody again. Let's talk to these two. Simon, so how was your internal zombification? Any negative side effects? Nope, it was a pretty smooth transition. Oh, I did figure out a cool trick as to having my intestines falling out. Do they poop? Wear a diaper? Oh yeah, what's that? Just grab them and rip everything out. Kinda horrible. A little horrible. Works like a charm. My torso is completely hollow now. I don't know why that bothers me, but it does. That sounds like literally the worst thing that can happen to a human being. But if a dumb idea works, it's not a dumb idea, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so there's nothing here. We'll go in there in a second. Did you know our library holds records of every encounter with Yog-Sothoth, the horrific god of eternal knowledge in human history? I mean, honestly, I'd probably worship Yog-Sothoth if that's the god of eternal knowledge. I'd probably be there. Wow, how many encounters have we had? None. Weird, right? Oh. Maybe that's why there's so many goofy fellers around. No knowledge god to give him some knowledge. Huh, that explains a lot. Yes, it does. Nutty Annie. She's eating ears. Hello, wobbly bum. Fancy meeting you here. Although, I mean, to be fair, if they were dried and salted, they'd probably be like pork rinds. I would imagine, right? Indulging in some light reading, are we? Well, I was going to check out Tentacle Tactics, a dissertation on regaining control on rogue transmutation circles, but I've lost my appetite for knowledge. I could go for some bacon. Oh, these? White chocolate and sugar paint. I just make these in the kitchen to remind me of home, you know, so those aren't actually human ears? That can't be right. Wow, really? Pff, no. The engineering department exploded, remember? Means I get to pig out. Oh. Alright. Awesome, thanks, Annie. I mean, I have a really inappropriate question to ask about cannibalism regarding swallowing, but, you know, we'll save that for never. That's terrible. I know. Is it going to let me outside now? Wait, let's click on myself. Oh. I need to go back and look at the other room. Thistle Tingle of the Thousand Young Inn. Hey kids, meanies are heretics. Cody the cultist questions Thistle's fun methods. Thistle Tongue of the Thousand Young. Oh, tongue. Thistle Tongue of the Thousand Young teaches boys and girls of all ages how to be the best cultist of Shub Niggurath that they can be. Thistle Tongue teaches his cultist kids that love and compassion are the best things about humanity and should be shared among them. This is adorable. This is so amazing. I mean, seriously, look at this poster. Hey kids, meanies are heretics. Whoa. In this month's issue, Cody the cultist has some doubts about Thistle Tongue's teachings, especially after seeing Freya whip Eddie half to death. Cody brings up his concerns to Thistletongue, and Thistletongue teaches Cody that when the message is love and compassion, the methods can be as brutal as they need to be. After all, only a meanie stands in the way of love and compassion. I don't know about that Thistletongue. Forcing folks to be loving and compassionate is probably just going to make them even grumpier, just in secret with other grumpy folks. Then you just get a grump cycle going. That's true. This new writer's kind of a douche. Agreed. That's the thing about freedoms, is it makes people free to be assholes. You just gotta deal with it. I'll save that for another day. Whoa! Thistletongue of the Thousand Young. Thistletongue of the Thousand Young teaches boys and girls of all kids how to be the best cultist, blah, blah, blah. Okay. In this month's issue, Freya the Flayer meets Eddie the Ignorant, a silly little boy who refuses the teachings of Shub-Niggurath. After a weekend of flagellation for refusing to be compassionate, look at all his cat hair, Jack. It's all your fault. After a weekend of flagellation for refusing to be compassionate to all creatures, Eddie finally sees the error of his ways and joins the cult. Feeling bad that Freya hit her new friend, Thistletongue magically appears to teach her that sometimes cultists have to use force to teach people to be empathetic. Hey kids, never feel bad. Okay. Yay, another Thistletongue book. Huh. I guess the writer was having an off day. Why didn't Freya just tell Eddie how great it is to be all lovely and groovy? If he didn't wanna, then just let him be a misery guts. That's what the old books used to teach. It has been 20 years. I'm sure this new writer just needs to warm up to their grooviness. Needs to warm up their grooviness glands. Did I not click on her earlier? How did this happen? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, kids, hug your mom. Also, he's got like 4 legs. He's like a centaur. Cody the Cultist gets a surprise from Shub-Niggurath. In this month's issue, Cody the Cultist has finally reached his goal of 1,000 cuddles. By the way, there's a job that's a professional cuddler. If you're good at cuddling, maybe it's a career for you guys. I am probably not. I don't think I could be a professional cuddler. Maybe a part-time one. Part-time. And for his hard work, Thistletongue teleports himself and Cody to Shub-Niggurath's secret forest, where he is praised, blessed, and given 5 new sets of cuddling arms. Though initially painful, Cody learns that some suffering is required in order to be the most compassionate that you can be. Oh man, I love the Thistletongue books when I was a little baby Charlotte. They're always about grooviness and being a nice person and stuff. It's why I joined the Witch Coven. I can't believe they're still making them. Cody the Cultist, lucky little bastard, gets to hang out with Thistletongue, and now he's got 12 arms, 10 of which specifically designed for cuddling folks. Man, what I could do with 10 cuddling arms. Well, just cuddling, I guess. Be pretty cool, though. Fair enough. Alright, did we talk to these? I don't think so. We're talking to everybody, guys. We're talking to everybody. I'm sorry I'm yawning. Don't go! Don't go, Jack, don't go. Do not go. I wanna cuddle you. I wanna cuddle him. Come here, you. Come here. Oh my gosh, you're so cuddly. Look at your cuddle face. Look at this baby face. Right? His tail is going crazy. He's like... Anyway. You can go if you want. You can go if you want. Okay, he's gonna go. Mimi, how did you survive the engineering explosion? It took out the whole department. Militia. I was in the garage across campus. It's one of the great things about being a mechanic. You don't spend a lot of time trying to invent a better wrench. I like her welding goggles. Because you're too busy overcharging for spark plugs and peeking at pinup calendars. Gotcha. There's nothing wrong about peeking at pinup calendars. Overcharging for spark plugs is another matter. We had a pinup calendar at the Coven headquarters once. And by pinup calendar, I mean spell of the month calendar. And by headquarters, I mean Susie's house. And by once, I mean every year since I was 9. This guy, there used to be someone else. Not Lily. I don't remember. But there was someone else. I remember that. Avery Marr. Thanks to our efforts in the Corporeum, preternatural medicine has advanced 200 years. New England's mutagenic atmosphere has gone from a cataclysmic Armageddon to a mild, mutational nuisance. When I was a kid, I saw a guy whose face was a butt crack. Alive and well, thanks to the Corporeum. Fair enough. June. Does the creative writing teacher seem a little weird to you? Whenever someone answers the question wrong, his eyes start pouring with blood. The blood thing's a little disconcerting, but when class starts clutching their heads and covering their ears to drown out the shrieking, that's what gets me. Huh, that creative writing teacher is either some sort of banshee or just a huge douchebag. No comment. Okay, let's save. Yeah, I'll save over 4. We'll try going outside first, and then we'll go. I'm assuming it maybe won't let us. It's got to be someone from the occult science department who's responsible for extracting brain goo from people. Best to keep my snooping here for now. Okay, so eventually we're going to be able to get to go out there. Let's click on myself. Hey kids, slaughter the heretics. I like how the eyelid closes this way. Cody the cultist becomes Cody the corpse. Well, that's not nice. I thought Cody was like the, in this month's issue, Cody the cultist learns to shut his bitch mouth. Oh, what the hell is this? Thistle tongue used to be cool. I bet I could write better Thistle tongue stories than this asshole. Get him to go back to teaching the kiddies how to be a bunch of groovers. Not just murdering folks that disagree with flaying people alive for being dopey. Okay. It's like Star Wars, man. It was good originally, now it sucks. It's true, though. True. So one of my coworkers, she's like, oh, I love Star Wars so much. I saw The Mandalorian and there's a Baby Yoda in it, and now I love Star Wars. And I'm just like, okay. Have you seen all the Star Wars movies? Oh, no. No, the new ones, they're not good. Okay. Have you watched the originals? Oh, no. My husband says I needed to start with the prequels. I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? Like, seriously. I mean, answer me! Like, why start with the prequels? They're like the worst ones. Oh, because the story... You gotta start the story at the beginning. It's like, no, you start with the originals, because the originals are the best. But yeah, she's like such a huge fan, and then I'm like, well, I have the... I don't have the, what is it, despecialized versions? I don't have those, but I have the copies of the original Laserdisc. I'm like, I could burn a DVD for you. Oh, I'm not that interested. That's the Star Wars fans these days, just FYI. The current trilogy destroyed anyone that's left of the original fan base, I think. Maybe not, but a lot of them. The prequels got rid of a lot of them. The current trilogy, Disney's trilogy, 7, 8, 9, got rid of a lot of them. There's still some, but it's like... It's not what it's about, man. It's... I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, the original trilogy was very cliched. It's a very standard story, but it's just good. It's got heart, you know? I'm not going to say it's back when movies used to be good, but it, you know, there was definitely something there. So, yeah. Kind of like this. I mean, it sounds weird. Sounds weird, right? But you could tell this has care put into it. I mean, maybe it's going to take a huge dump on itself later here in a couple hours when the story starts going, but it's interesting. It's quirky. It's charming. It has personality. It's neat. Games like this are why I started the channel, because I want to experience unique and interesting games. Yeah, so all right, back to it. Al, I'm going to take my 2 weeks holiday to go work on one of the skull crackers. I might have some coffee after this. Sailing around Ryla has got to be the easiest job the Miskatonic offers, right? You know they call it the Nightmare Corpse City for a reason, right? Because it's a nightmarish city filled with corpses, or a city filled with nightmarish corpses. Adorable cat. They say that about everything. They say that about Milwaukee. Well, I mean, that's true, though. Have you ever been to Milwaukee? That's where Red Letter Media hangs out. Man, I haven't been there in a while, though. Supposedly they have really good beer, but I wasn't of drinking age when I was there. I bet it's a nightmarish city filled with equally nightmarish corpses. But then again, I've never been to Milwaukee. Dogma was set in Wisconsin originally, right? Or that's where it starts? They were sentenced... Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were sentenced to hang out in Milwaukee or Wisconsin somewhere. Michael. Yingren sickness, China, caused the victim to see a pair of glowing eyes in places of pitch darkness. Sufferers were terrified of falling asleep, noting that the eyes seemed to get closer whenever they looked away from them. The worst sufferers saw them even when they had their own eyes closed. Narcotic plague, Italy. Scriptures and texts were being hidden inside Italy's most popular newspaper crossword puzzle. Those that completed the crossword were rewarded with terrifying revelations of the birth of humanity, most being driven insane by their new knowledge. Deacon. Domestic earwig, New Zealand. A simple earwig that crawls into victims' ears at night but makes sounds of horrific, muffled screaming and violence. Sufferers thought their neighbors were literally murdering each other, many trying to save contented wives by murdering innocent husbands. Wow. The male population of New Zealand halved over the weekend. Well, that one wins. Although, to be fair, you're in New Zealand. You should be ready for combat at all times. Right? New Zealand is where the giant spiders are, right? The, dinner plate-sized spiders. Although, to be fair, Hawaii has the coconut crabs. So, you know. Hey, guys. Whoa, what's this wriggling meat slab? That right there, a piece of Cthulhu's skin. Charmin, ain't it? Grody. I mean, you wouldn't think it would be covered with tentacles, but I guess it could be. But I thought Cthulhu was like some huge alien god. How'd you guys get such a huge chunklet of him? Well, he might be a huge alien god, but he is still corporeal, Funny story, there's a lost underwater in the Pacific called R'lyeh. They used to act as the prison of Cthulhu. Cultists spent a couple thousand years trying to get him out of there, but a few years ago some Norwegian whaling crew accidentally let Cthulhu out of his cage. That'll do it. As Cthulhu chased their yacht, out of desperation the crew decided to ram his face with their boat. This caused Cthulhu's head to explode into mushy goo, disabling him, but his head slowly started reforming the moment it exploded. Smart fella then immediately told the Miskatonic, who now employs a fleet of icebreakers to continually drive through the mushy remains of his head, stopping him from reforming and destroying the world. Okay. There's a concept called God eating. It's where is it the sacrament comes from? Catholicism, you eat the wafers, the little wafers and the wine at confession, and it's like, this is my body and this is my blood, and you consume it, something about it'll relieve you of your sins. Some, like a god, for example, that takes a corporeal form. Could you not, as a human, eat that flesh? I mean, because it's not... something about the act of eating it, like you're taking the power into yourself. So it's not... I mean, it could potentially be that it'll like burst out of your stomach and stuff, but since it's a god, I feel like the whole symbolic act of eating, just in general, will grant you some of the power. Probably destroy that portion of corporeal flesh. I don't know. Curious, though. Sounds like a fun gig. What are the Wigglies doing? They point towards the rest of the host, desperately trying to reform. Nowadays, our supply ships use small pieces of Cthulhu flesh to point the way to R'lyeh. Awesome. Thanks for the biology lesson. That is pretty cool. More people to talk to. Okay. We'll talk to them. Ephelim. I hear the faculty's heading to Dunwich in a couple days. Need locals to help build a new portal. Whenever I hear the name Dunwich, it puts a grin on my face to know that however tough my job gets, at least I'm not a portal diver. Chasm. And it puts a smile on my face whenever I get my portal diver's paycheck. Damn shame your job of standing in a hallway ain't so lucrative, huh? That's gotta be a pretty big paycheck if it's worth a face made out of buttholes. Where is Chasm? He's not right there. Oh, let's click on myself. The little cultists learn to never disagree. Hey, kids, good cultists get treats. In this month's issue, after discovering the pulpy remnants of what was once Cody, the little cultists... Cody should have shut his bitch mouth. Oh, jeez. I can't stay serious. I cannot. Let's see. The little cultist learned that Thistletongue is the be-all, end-all of love and compassion, and that anyone that disagrees with his notions, ideals, and methods must be a meanie and a heretic. Sounds like SJWs, man. And most of them lived happily ever after. Or else. I think Thistletongue needs a foot up his ass is what he needs. I hope folks stopped buying these books for the kids at the exact moment I stopped reading them. That's how it works, right? Sadly, no. Magnus, extra cerebral ascension seems to be a common factor outside the human race, even when decapitated. Some creatures seem to function with some control over their actions. It's a difficult thing to study, at least if you have any qualms about cutting the heads off a diverse selection of adorable animals. So realistically, once the blood to your head, the arteries in your neck, once they get shut off, you have about... I mean, realistically speaking, it's about a second before you lose consciousness. After that, for example, when your heart stops, you have approximately 10 minutes before brain damage sets in. Now, I don't believe that's an exact, I think it's an average. It's probably not the same for everybody. Some say 6 minutes, 6 to 10 minutes. But you survive for a little bit, right? Your brain tissue can. That's all. Adorable animals, though, I would not want to cut heads off adorable animals. I really hope those guys have qualms about cutting heads off adorable animals. All the qualms. Agreed. Sizzle. So is there anything else I should know about nature and its communal consciousness or whatever? Yeah. Don't eat carrots. They hate it. Okay. Communal consciousness. That's a cool idea. It would be a lot easier to spread harmony if everyone's connected at the brain. Then again, it'd be a lot easier to infect people with the asshole virus. Probably for the best that we all think for ourselves. Agreed. Let's check out the... Did I click on myself already? I think so. Yes. Do not disagree. I ate some mixed vegetables for lunch. Like peppers and stuff. The tequila helps. Because it tastes kind of like peppers a little bit. And that's what I'm burping up. So, Yeesh. Probably no coffee. More alcohol, I think, though. After this, I mean. How's it hanging, Wallman? What say you and me get out of here, hit the town, grab some street food? Could go for a foot long. Awesome. Please don't encourage the Eldritch Barrier protecting the western hemisphere of our planet from our incredibly volatile experiments on the original Necronomicon to misbehave. I mean, you could probably bring him stuff, though. It's like, hey, man, I'm going to the store. You want something? Yeah, I'll take a 5-hour energy. I'll take a monster. I'll take, some honey roasted peanuts. I don't know, beef jerky. Whatever, I want some Sunny D. Sorry, I'm just fooling around with him. What you been working on? Currently, the effects of applying samples of Necronomicon parchment to heated patches of human flesh. That's the Necronomicon. So what does it do? Does it fuse to the skin? Oh. And? The sample of parchment actually scribes the entirety of the Necronomicon's contents onto the subject's skin, essentially making a new copy of the book by tattooing the subject's skin. Or, you know, scarring. So more like a brand, not a tattoo. Okay. And the people you're doing this to are okay with that? I don't know. That's not my department. Why? Never mind. See you around, Jess. Why would you do that? Do you need more copies of the Necronomicon? That experiment sounded pretty nefarious, but nothing about brains and goo extraction. Better keep an eye on it. Alright, so we will advance. And we will stop here, I think, because I want to talk to all these people and then go in the door. And I like to talk. So, we'll stop here. We're probably a quarter of the way through the game. Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah. But I do like to talk, and I like to explore everything, and hopefully this is cool for you guys. So anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for your time and attention. I really do appreciate it. This is the third episode that I've recorded today, so I'm pretty happy about that. If I can keep this pace up for the next, 10 to 14 days, I feel like we will have the next month ready to go. Because I try to do one episode per day. It doesn't always work, but given how hectic my work schedule is going to be for the next month, or not the next month, but the next 4 out of 6 weeks, relatively speaking, I think it's important that I get as many episodes recorded as I can. Regardless, any questions or comments you guys do have, good, bad, or indifferent, let me know. Yeah, I mean, I really hope people check this game out. It's not popular. It's not. It was kind of mentioned in one of those like hidden gem games only you have played, threads or whatever. But I love the art style. It seems fun so far. It's a visual novel, whether you consider that a game or not. It's not up to me. But it's interesting. It's interesting and unique, and that's what I love. That's what I'm looking for. That's honestly what I'm looking for. So, it's never gonna make this channel super popular. I kind of care. I care a little bit, but I mean, I'm looking for treasure hunting, right? I want to find stuff off the beaten path. At this point, that's all you can do. I want to find unique, interesting stuff. Hidden treasures that people aren't aware of. It's kind of what I'm after. But what is your guys' unique positive moment for today? For me, I talked about pork rinds earlier a little bit. I had some I picked up some from the store that were habanero. They're not spicy at all. Kind of disappointed by that, but I tried them and they're still good. Regardless, I mean, that's my unique positive moment. Trying new stuff. It's always good. Even if the thing that you tried is, average. Even if it's average, it's not what you wanted. You tried something new. That in itself is good. But that's my unique positive moment for today. Hopefully your guys is just as good, if not better. Hopefully better, of course. And I hope to see you guys next time. Till then, guys, take care.